Hello and welcome back to Stars Without Number, Abaddon, Week 2, Season 2, Part 2. Lots of twos today.
The fuck was that voice?
I don't know. Presenter? Shoddy presenter?
Hello.
It's just hello and welcome. This is how I talk
You're not
now.
Scott Manley.
All right.
Aw. How are we doing,
Cool.
Liam? What's the situation? Give
We're
me a
doing
status
good.
report.
We're doing good. So yeah,
Don't lie
it's
to me.
roughly it's pretty 2 weeks after we last saw the characters. I think 2 weeks later, flashes up on the screen. And then we see the captain and the XO of every ship in First Fleet sitting around a large meeting table that we've seen before. And at the head of the table, we see Lord Commander Lucia and
Seriously.
she looks out at the table and says, "We are starting to approach the effective range of Saturn's fleet. If they want to challenge us, this is where we see it. They should start burning anytime now. I have had communications from Second and Third Fleet saying that they will rendezvous with us near Saturn. The combined mights of our fleet are a lot larger than anything Saturn should muster, so I can't imagine them being foolish enough to actually engage us." And she looks around the room and she looks at the captain of the XO, like of the particular ship, as she says the name of the ship, if that makes sense. So she says, the Andromache, and yeah, she looks at like
Us.
not Voss, Dahl and Church, and then she looks at the captain and XO of the Qin Shi Huang, Bonaparte, and Caesar. I want you to burn hard for Saturn. The three of you will make first contact with any remnants of the Saturn fleet and to make contact with any ground elements. I have sent word to advise them that I am sending a diplomatic corps to negotiate the terms of this surrender and the seizure of their assets by the shields. The rest of us will burn, staying within effective weapons range of the forward contingent, but staying at a range which we seem... Well, I do not want to scare them. I would rather them be on our side. I'd rather this happen without any violence or bloodshed. I would rather the diplomatic core of this mission be able to achieve all elements without us needing to resort to any other assets within our fleet." She looks at the three captains that she mentioned earlier and says, "I will leave it to you to choose which members of your ships you bring with you. I want yourself, your XO, and the Marines down on planet. As much as we do not want to scare them, it will be a good show. And if they do try anything, I want every single contingent we have ready. Any civilians on board your ships, if they are willing to fight, train them. If they are loyal, train them. Reporters, I want them on ground. I would assume they're less likely to engage us with a civilian contingent." She looks around as like she pauses and kind of like looks around the room. Any questions? Cool. Yeah, there's nothing from any of the captains.
Yeah.
Or XOs of any of the other ships. She says, "All right, you may return to your ships. The Andromache, Quincy, and Caesar, you will start burning in 4 hours. Make sure your crews are ready, and Godspeed." She turns and leaves. Cool. So, this is where I throw it over to you. Is there any scenes we want to see from you guys in the time between now and like first contact with any presence from Sam?
Oh man, I want to have a tiny scene with Cross.
Sure,
That's
go for
gonna
it.
be great. Because she said EXO on the ground, right? So that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
EXO and reporters.
Yeah.
Excellent reporters, Marine. Basically, it would have been. I'm not sure. I might have messed up when I was saying it, but essentially, it's the second in command of both Marines and ship, along with the contingent of Marines. Anyone, she kind of like the overture, anyone the captain feels would be useful in a diplomatic sense, and then civilians.
Yep. So
Well, a contingent of civilians. It's not all of them. You would assume.
Yes, let's just send 30 random civilians out.
Exactly.
oh my god.
Quickly, send out the janitor.
So yeah,
Yeah, so sure, yeah. I hand the floor over to you. You done? Take your
yeah,
seat.
we see like the conference room in the at the bridge, and Cross has been like summoned to the bridge and into the conference room, and Dahl is just leaning on the seat the captain was leaning on, except she's got like her feet up on the desk, and there's like the compad is like on the desk with the report from his interrogation and the subsequent report of his misdeed. But of course, you weren't told this. You were just told to see the XO in the meeting room.
Sure.
Like, it's been like 2 weeks, Liam.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's been so like the message went out roughly 2 weeks ago.
Okay. So by this point, he's probably like thinking he kind of got away with it, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean it's been 3 weeks since you did it. Like since
Yeah.
the leak report, 3 weeks.
So I'd enter the room and look awkward.
Seymour Cross. I remember that face.
Yes, you broke my camera.
And then I get the fleet billet.
Get the what now?
I'm supposed to be a hard ass, Andrew. No, I'm supposed to be a hard ass, Seymour. That's why I get the guns, the special chow, the bank account.
I mean, the bank's exploded.
Why did you come for this trip, Seymour? To get off Earth? Watch us keep the Martian civis in line, as we do back home?
No, I came here to help my family. They are on Mars.
Well, we're not on Mars now.
I've realized that. So,
I've read your report.
which one?
There was a disturbance a couple of weeks back. I think I held a speech.
Yes, you did quite good at that.
Someone went rogue and posted information that was classified on the public network of the crew's communications channels. Some sort of blogger.
I'm not a blogger, I'm an actual reporter. I have actual awards and notations and all that. I know you're talking about me.
That's good.
I'm not an idiot.
Do you know what's happening right now?
Two ideas. We're all going to die, or nothing interesting.
That's correct. We have declared martial law, and
Yes,
we're
I
seizing
know that. That
Saturn
was 2
Corp
weeks ago.
resources.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Yes. You're coming with me. We're putting boots on the ground.
What? Saturn has no ground.
Well,
It's gas.
we're putting boots on the ground insofar as
Kinda
we're
alien.
going to the settlements on Saturn nearby, and we're gonna talk to the people there. Get the what diplomatic mission? Yes, you're part of the diplomatic detachments. You're staying near
Uh,
me.
And you
Okay.
expect me to do what? I'm not a diplomat. In fact, I think they're all dead.
Wow, you're the closest thing I've got to someone who can think on his own and take initiative. So you're coming with me down to the ground.
No. Joy. Do I get any protection or help?
No. She shakes her head. You're staying with me. That's all the protection you need.
Um. Okay, then. That's. I don't know how I should feel about this.
Take your camera with you. I'm sure you'll get excellent footage.
You mean the one you broke?
You had 2 weeks to fix it.
I mean, I did, but I like being a smartass.
Well, you'll fit right in.
So, I have a question for you, though. Who do you think did this? Privately, not on any record or anything.
Well, we're going down to Saturn Corp. We'll seize all the telemetry data they have and see if we can't spot the meteors in flight.
And if it was Saturn Corp themselves?
Well, then we'll be in range to shoot at them.
You realize they also have guns.
And they'll shoot back.
And I'm fairly sure some semi-powerful psychics.
I'm touched by your concern, Seymour.
I just don't want to die.
Well, as much as I enjoy your initiative in trying to preserve our limited stock of knuckleheads, this is kind of what we do.
Yes, but it's not what I do.
It's what you do now.
Yes, I'm beginning to realize that. Spoke with Voss the other day as well.
I'll get you the. Oh, actually, I'll send a report down to the Marines. I'll see if I can't get you some gear, but you'll probably be in a vac suit, so keep your head down.
I assume you read the part of the report where I can't shoot, right?
I don't need you to shoot, except with the camera. I need the footage.
Okay, then just don't expect anything. Don't expect me to do anything. That'll get me killed.
I might also need you to negotiate on behalf of the military.
I just freeze up at that. Stare
Interesting.
directly at you.
Interesting choice of words. The military.
Isn't that your job, or the captain, or the Grand Admiral Supreme?
I like your word choice. And she
I don't
nods
like
and she
yours.
says, she nods and she says, well, you see, an exo's job is to delegate tasks.
I'm a
seem to want to live.
civilian.
You seem to want to live, so technically you wouldn't have the authority to make any claims on behalf of the shields of humanity, which is why I
Yes.
would want you to do the negotiations, because anything you'd say would be invalid. It would have to be confirmed higher up.
That makes no sense.
Makes every sense.
No, it really doesn't. Have you never read anything about how to negotiate?
No, I only do two things. I break shit, and I kill people.
Maybe you should try reading a book
I've read lots.
that don't involve killing, breaking.
That's why I'm bringing you, because you have all the books and the not breaking stuff.
No, they're mostly burned.
What I'm trying to say is, you'll try to live, right? You want to live.
I prefer to, yes.
Yes. So just go with a plan.
But I don't like the plan. I whisper very quietly.
You ain't got no choice. So
I see.
take your orders down to the what's her face? Take your orders down a deck to the Marines and tell them to fit you for atmosphere. I'm putting you
What?
up as a special detachment next to me.
Okay, then. Is that all?
She looks at her compad and she says, "Yeah, that'll do for now."
I sigh, get up, and go find Voss.
Okay. Where does he eventually track you down?
Is that even a question? The goddamn missile, of course.
You
I
know
just
exactly.
assume like you and your like direct group have just claimed the table for yourselves.
No, there's a corner table where we get to look really cool and badass at, as all
Yeah.
Like
missiles
one of
should.
you's clearly scraped your name into the table using a combat knife.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Yeah, you've also gotten like I mean your let's see, the Marine commander Eva. She gets a message about this like 10 minutes later after the conversation.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Before we had that conversation, I think we hear like the camera kind of sticks with fucking character names suck Dahl as Seymour leaves, and you said you did this conversation on the CIC, like in the CIC.
Yeah, that makes
the
sense.
break?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so there's one of the like sensor techs, one of the comms techs turns to you and says, "Sir, we have a shuttle from the Alexandria coming in. They're requesting permission to dock."
Blow it up.
Well, fuck my ass. Invite him in.
So,
Blow it up.
shall I send someone to go meet them, or kind of looks? Are you gonna like the look is should I tell someone to go do it, or are you gonna do it? Like,
Yeah, I'll see them in.
okay, cool. Yeah, then we'll cut to back to our favorite couple, Cross and Voss.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting. Voss is sitting at the corner table, slightly in
with
the
the rest of
shadows.
Marines.
Yeah, with a bunch of scary-looking shock marines.
Sure, I think
By
yeah,
this
like,
point, they know they know me and they know you don't like they know our kind of weird relationship thing.
I mean, yeah, we've all taken
Maybe,
turns looking
but
after
you have like
you.
an escort at you at all times because you're civilian.
Yeah, it's probably the French guy again.
I mean, like around like the mess hall, you don't like.
Yeah.
This is kind of where the civilians generally hang out, so
Hmm.
it's kind of marine posted.
Voss, we need to talk.
Uh, yeah, you interrupt him.
That's to you.
What's
One
that?
of the Marines. It doesn't even matter which one of the Marines says it, but like one of the Marines looks up to the table and like looks across. That's
I don't think I have to because I'm not military.
you look down at a table of 5 very scary, 6 with voice.
So that's the end of that.
Cool.
Even though he's not an officer or anything.
Yeah, you're like, I don't think I have, sir.
Basically.
Yeah, so that happens. I love that, by the way. He waves his hand at you. Oh, hold on. This is the good part. And that's when the baker's wife says, and that is why the cat fucked the mouse. You get it? You get
I
it?
think they're all staring at you like he knows he's told this 100 times. Yeah, like that's the look that like goes around the table, and like I think Cross, you you get that, like you recognize the look of like this is something we've heard before, like, and then one of them like chuckles.
Oh, come on, don't give me that pity laugh. You know it's funny. Best joke I know.
Would be, sir, if you if it was the first time we heard it.
Have I told that one
Maybe
before?
expanding your repertoire. You
I
have
didn't
one.
realize. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I told that one before.
How does a magic actually let you call him sir?
I'll have to come up with a new one. And like he says that literally every time after he tells that joke.
Yeah, absolutely. And I imagine like he sits down, he's like, I've got a new one for you guys.
Yeah. It starts differently every time as well.
It's the same joke, or like it's the same punchline, or like it's basically the same joke, but reworded.
It's just
like,
worded
yeah.
different, yeah.
And every time you say, there's an audible moan.
Yeah, he's probably got his like feet propped up on a second chair and takes them off. Come on, Cross, sit down. Sit with the big boys.
Okay. I just move over, sit down next to you.
Like slides over a glass of clear liquid to you.
I'm assuming either water or vodka. Either way, I'm drinking it.
It's just heinous. It is disgusting. It burns in like all the ways that you don't want it to burn.
Shitty vodka. Understood.
Can you roll me a physical effect save, please?
If I can press the button right. Hey.
I can't actually see that. So,
It's a 14. You got a 14.
You tell me what. Awesome. That's
14
awesome.
out of 10.
14 over 10, so yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, you managed to like stomach it. Like, you know.
The fuck was that shit?
We call that cat's anus because tastes like a cat's anus. Don't ask me
Tasted
how I
it
know
before.
that. You want some more?
No, I'm good.
All right. What did you want to speak about, Cross?
I have some news for you.
Oh, you have news for me.
Yes.
You guys like this will be good.
Last time you had news for me, the Earth fucking blew up. I hope it's well.
But yeah,
the
the
Earth
sun
blow up
exploded.
again?
We're all going to die.
Yeah, about time, I think. Go on. What is
No. Commander Dahl has said I'm be joining on this mission.
it? He stops himself from snorting. Like a little bit of cat's anus comes out of his nose. Oh fuck, that hurts. She said, "What? You're coming down with us?"
Yes,
I
apparently.
I don't even think you've had a chance to brief the Marines yet, because like this is all happened like pretty close to each other. You and the Marine commander have been told about the mission, not about Cross. I don't even think you had a chance to like brief the rest of them. They all kind of like turn and look at you, going down. Because we boots on the ground, or what?
He grins. Oh, you know it, boys. Though, plan isn't to kill anyone. We're there for intimidation. I guess he's there to look pretty. I don't know. Why are you there?
I don't know either. Dahl said something about recording, reporting, and being a diplomat, and blowing stuff up.
I didn't know you were.
Dahl's very
diplomat.
confusing.
When did you graduate?
What was that?
I didn't know you were a diplomat. When did you graduate?
I'm not. That's what I'm concerned about.
Ah, this will be the punishment then.
Yes. I say slowly.
I think I think you probably catch it, Voss. I'm not sure if Cross, you could literally decide what you do or not. But one of the Marines under their breath says punishment for who?
I just turn to him and say, I think all of us.
He's right. Though, it might have been too easy just keeping ourselves alive and killing people. Now we have someone to protect.
To sit.
Didn't catch that?
What did you say, Liam?
A baby to sit.
Exactly. Always makes things more interesting.
Yeah.
We have very different ideas of interesting, sir.
That's what makes it interesting.
You seem really joyed about this.
Oh, I'm just excited about boots on. It's been a while.
I don't even own a pair of boots.
Oh.
Well,
I did, but it exploded.
I think I don't even own a pair of boots. The screen cuts to Dog, do you have boots just around it?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
I have good boots.
Yeah, we cut to a pair of boots walking, and the camera kind of pans up and we see Dar walking to the airlock, basically to whoever's coming aboard. What do you do, Dar? What would this person see as the lock opens? And
well, who is it? That's my question.
for sure.
So it's just waiting in the there's the airlock and we see Dahl waiting in at ease mode
Sure.
and just kind of waiting for the people to show up.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you see the lock kind of opens, and a single person steps out in the uniform. They're you recognize it's Marine, a Marine's uniform. But the coloration is different to what you normally expect. Instead of the darker colors, the uniform is white with this green and blue band down from the shoulder kind of down. And we see on her kind of lapel the rank insignia of a lieutenant, so the same as Voss. And she smiles, and us as an audience recognize this character.
Oh no!
As
Oh
It's
god,
a
it's
psychic.
her, isn't it?
as the psychic who was tortured in our poor previous game. We see
What is her resting facial expression?
she looks it's kind of blank, right? She's very evidently controlling herself very well. And she salutes and says, Commander Dahl, permission to come aboard.
Permission granted. At ease, Lieutenant. What can we do for you?
She says, the Lord Commander has ordered me to come aboard to be a presence on the ship, to see how the rest of the crew are doing, to make sure you're ready, to be a liaison for this mission.
Well, congratulations on being assigned this glorious task. I'm sure you'll be welcomed with open arms.
She smiles and says, I would hope that your crew would be ready to accept the orders of the Lord Commander.
That seriously sounds like some religious bullshit.
Well, we're already putting aside a civilian detachment for the landing. I'm sure you'll want to be briefed by the Marine commander.
She nods. I will say hello to your captain and the other command crew, and apprise myself of your mission here and how you've prepared. And she looks up and she says, Commander, I believe you only have an hour left before Heartburn. You should make sure the crew is ready.
I'll take you to see the captain.
She nods. And I think, like, yeah, as you say that, you kind of give her another like look up and down, and I think Dahl recognizes the like one of the insignia, which was probably like hidden as she like because of the way she was facing, but she turns and like it reveals to the camera. We see the same little insignia that we see on Dahl's like collar epaulet, which is the insignia of Psyche.
Yeah, I can visually and audibly detect the use of psychic powers, but obviously that's when they are used.
Yeah. Yes, so she's not using it right now.
Yeah.
She can do the same.
Ship psychic. Why would you send a psychic? Oh man, now I'm scared.
How can I continue to torture her? Is my question.
Just to throw something towards Quack. Do you remember what her disciplines were?
For the most part, yes.
What were her disciplines?
Metapsionics, biopsionics, and I believe low-level telepathy.
Switch biosonic with teleportation, but yeah.
Yeah, she had teleportation.
She followed you through the door.
Yeah, she chased you a fuck ton with that. That's why you had a torch.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was fun.
But yeah, so she's a metapsionic, a low-level teleport, and telepath.
Yeah. Now I'm just wondering how I can continue to torture her as Cross.
Oh, you can see like she has the insignia of each of those.
Yeah.
On her epaulet, like it's evident what she is. And yeah, she salutes and turns and heads on the direction of the CIC.
Yeah, I'll follow her as like an escort and be
Sure.
like, on my ghost talker comes, it's just like bringing aboard a guest from the Alexander to see the captain. It's like behind her in the ghost talker, just silently, just not even. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, she walks her way around the ship. Like you're escorting her, but it's relatively evident she knows where she's going.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Most EDF ships are built the same kind of thing.
Yeah, all ships are the same class, are built off the standard pattern. Yeah, and she walks her way to the CIC and salutes the captain and introduces herself, and then the captain hands over command of the ship to you and tells you to make ready, and they go to his like ready room.
All right. How do I make everyone ready, Liam?
Yeah, it's like we can like you can just say you do that, right? There's a multitude of orders to go out, and you prepare the ship for a.
There's a montage of people getting ready and everything.
Yeah, I think so.
During that, you see Seymour getting awkwardly fitted for like a suit.
Cool. All right. Yeah, for sure. And then yeah, we see this harder burn, which essentially for the purpose of characters kind of know what's going on. There is limited movement around the ship during the periods of high burn. There are 3 hours every day or every watch that are like the burn is decreased to about 1.2. At which point you can walk around and do anything you need to.
Would this be Seymour's first hard burn?
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's your first time really on it out off Earth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll physical state to see how he feels about this.
Oh. How well does his?
He's taking it decently.
Yeah. the physical save. Yeah, nice. Cool. Yeah. And yeah, this goes on for a period of weeks. With every 5 days there'll be a longer period of slower acceleration. Cool. I think it's probably 3 days after that. Where would we find you, Voss?
You don't need to ask that question, Liam.
Yeah, I mean, like, how close are we to landing?
We're still probably like 2 weeks out.
Oh, Missile.
Okay. Cool.
Let's change it up. He's in the gym. Caught him
Okay.
during his workout.
Sure. All right. Yeah, I think we see the new presence on the ship. In her like gym clothes, right? Her equivalent of that. Her hair is tied back. And she walks in and she nods to Voss in greeting. Like you haven't directly interacted with her yet. I think
No.
you've definitely seen her around. You definitely know who she is.
She's higher ranked than me, yeah?
You're the same.
Same
You're
rank.
both-
Okay, what is the procedure?
Normal people.
You're the same rank. You can.
Okay,
Yeah.
what is there a procedure during gym time? Like, if an officer
It's like-
walked in, would I salute?
It's stand down.
Gym time's
like
free time.
you'd still you wouldn't salute or anything, but like if someone was higher or rank, you'd still sir or ma'am.
Okay.
But you're the same rank as her.
What's her last
Yeah.
I
name?
love how so far I've never saluted anyone, other than Voss jokingly.
Question, boss.
What's her last name?
Saris.
Saris?
Yeah.
Yeah, he puts up the bench press, puts it back in place.
Definitely. Yeah, it's like this is so it'll be like it's all based on resistance. Like it's a bench press, but you're pushing against like rubber
Yeah.
bands, basically.
Yeah.
Because obviously, weights don't
Wait on a
always work.
spaceship.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with a grunt, he puts it back up, stands up, stands in his casual position, which is feet wide, hands behind his back. Nods. What was the name again? How did I forget that? Holy shit.
Saris.
Saris, thank you. Lieutenant Saris, what can I do for you? I don't believe we've formally met. I'm Lieutenant Voss.
She smiles, says, Voss, you can. Well, no need to be so formal.
When we lose formality, we descend into chaos, Lieutenant.
She looks at you and like a slight shake of her head.
He winks. Like, it was a joke.
Yeah, cool. So shake of her head, then she laughs. What's your first name? I guess she'll ask. She says, "What's your first name, boss?"
Zakele.
Sweet.
Zakele. He doesn't say
Yeah.
that, but that's me saying that.
Yeah. She says, Lucy.
I didn't
Pleasure.
catch that.
Lucy.
Oh, I caught that. Pleasure to
And-
meet you, Lieutenant Lucy. How the fuck did I forget her last name again? Saris. Pleasure to
Saris.
meet you, Lieutenant Lucy Saris. I am Lieutenant Zakele Jakob Voss. Extends his hand.
Yeah, she takes it. She says, "You're second in command of the Marines here, right?"
That is correct, yes. Well, last time I checked.
And your Marines are ready to be boots on the ground.
I'm insulted that you even need to ask. Of course we are ready. That's literally all we are trained to do is be ready.
She smiles, says, "This is obviously a very different mission to what a man of your caliber would usually be tasked to."
He nods.
Says,
That it
you were a
is.
shock, correct?
I didn't catch that.
You were a shock, correct?
I was a shock. Now, technically speaking, I am above all that, though in my heart I am still a shock.
She nods.
You're shocked to look at.
Kind of my point.
I'll take that as a compliment.
She laughs. You seem, according to your record, you seem to embody the character of the shocks well.
I will take that as even bigger compliment. That is what I strive to do. All I strive to do, really.
She nods. She says, I think, yeah, she probably starts like training, like she starts doing her own thing. And I imagine like the next few bits of conversation are kind of interchanged between
definitely, sure.
sets.
He
Yeah, and
starts as well.
she kind of, you know, it's the kind of area around you is relatively cleared out. Like this, it's busy, and it generally always is. But you know, when Marines, especially commanders of Marines, rock up, the area around them tends to clear. Yeah, and so she says, and again between kind of sets, she says, I have been told you might be the person to talk to in regards to how most of this crew would feel about the Lord Commander.
Scowls, like I think maybe he's spotting her or something.
Sure. Why not?
Scowls for like a brief second. Your intelligence would be correct. I make it a priority to know who and who is not loyal to the command structure, and what command structure they are loyal to.
She
Many
smiles.
would say that there are multiple now.
She smiles. Well, there should only be one.
I don't believe that you are naive enough to actually believe that. There should be only one, but of course, there are two in the eyes of some. One
I think the fact I'm here believes I'm not that, says I'm not that naive.
My point exactly.
Neither is the Lord Commander.
I had hoped not. What she did, well, personally I agree with it and see no fault. Many others do not see it our way. They see it as a breach of regulations and order. Some, while not saying it directly, think it treason.
And what do you think?
I follow orders. Always have, always will. As long as those orders... Whose orders?
Whose? Yeah, she just says who. Like, she like, that's how that would have gone. Like, she would have cut you off mid-sentence and said whose.
Right now, I follow Lieutenant Colonel Kruger's orders. Primarily. She believes the same as me and you. Above that would be Commander Dahl, and above that, Captain Church. And above that, the great Lord Commander Ami.
Such honorifics are unnecessary.
Hmm.
But still. And she stands. You know, like she finishes, like she locks the bar. And stands and like gets like uncomfortably close and says, you will keep me informed of any goings on aboard this ship, won't you?
I know what, like, she does. Do I know her psychic disciplines?
That's up to you. Like, you would have seen her around, whether you paid enough attention.
Yeah, 100%.
You know she's a psychic, right? Because she had something in the area which would denote her being psychic. How much you paid attention to what that is, up to you.
Always pay attention to psychics. They're dangerous motherfuckers. Of course I will. As long as you truly do speak for the Lord Commander. I will hold no information back, though I question why not just pry it out of my mind.
She smiles, says, I rather do things personally. Although if you had lied to me at all during this conversation, I would have known.
I had figured as much. If you have read my report, my record of duty, you will find that I do not lie. I am straightforward. No point in lying.
And yet, we are
Confuses
now in a
things.
situation in which nobody has ever been before. Uncharted territory. People are pushed to their absolute limit and past it in some cases. People become unpredictable. And in my experience, unpredictable people are dangerous.
In my
I
experience,
think, like, there's some viewers' minds may be cast back to a certain unpredictable person she encountered in her past.
can't imagine who.
We see her gets her legs swept by someone and falling around.
Yeah,
would
she
agree with that.
smiles.
You're muted, Quack.
Liam, I'm fairly sure I stole her implants, didn't I?
Yeah. Yeah. What was
Yeah, you go.
the ship name that Gwen just tortured this poor lady on?
Holiday.
Halliday? If my information is correct, and, that information is reports of active duty, you were on the Halliday when it went down, correct? He's
I
gauging
was.
her reaction to that.
Yeah, she like, this is the first time she's like paused or seemed uncertain in the conversation. And she, like, I think she almost, because she's still, during the whole part of that conversation, she was uncomfortably close to Voss. And she takes a step back and says, I was.
He nods. It's not hard. It's not easy. Losing a ship like that. Friends, comrades. You'll be stronger because of it. I can tell you that from personal experience. Whatever shit show was on that thing, you have and come out stronger. Though it is still a tragedy.
She chuckles, says, you sound like the head shrink.
He laughs. I've spent my fair time with them. Maybe something they say has finally rubbed off on me. Regardless, it's still true. I've seen my share of fucked up stuff to understand that.
Yeah. Can you give me a talk? Just
Yep.
real quick, just chuck a talk roll on there.
I'm terrible at this, but sure.
That's fine.
Oh god, there's so many fucking open there we are. Oh, I don't even get my reroll anymore. Ugh. Goddamn warriors.
It certainly isn't a mature level talk roll.
No, god. If only.
Yeah.
Could be a me level talk roll. I have high talk.
Any modifiers? Nope.
No.
No, this is just flat.
9? Alright, I'm happy with that. A 10.
Are you really?
I rolled a 10.
Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't mean anything right now.
Yeah, no, I know.
You know, a roll for
What, you didn't take diplomats?
No.
See, I can talk better than you. I get a 9.
Oh.
Sure. And yeah, she kind of looks you up and down and says, we'll talk again, Lieutenant. You'll keep me informed. And she turns about and leaves.
Before she can leave the door, how the fuck I've forgotten her name again. Sarish?
Saris.
Saris? Lieutenant Saris. Don't be a stranger now.
I think, like, she looks back over her shoulder and says, I wouldn't be doing my job if I was.
Yeah, he winks and at that, and then goes back to the deadlift or the rubber
Sure.
band lift.
Yeah. All right, cool. For sure. So I think, like, as the next little bit of time passes, um, Cyrus continues to, like, go around the ship and talk to people and generally engage with other members of the command crew. Um, Dal, how much attention are you paying to her activities?
Let's just say that me and the captain probably had a conversation.
Absolutely.
um, like like I took her to the captain, and the moment she left to do other things, we had a conversation in the bridge
Sure. Do you
room.
want to play that out? Do you want to see how that goes?
Sure.
Yeah. So, like, we see, this is a few days earlier, and then Cyrus leaves the meeting with the captain, and you
Yeah.
go straight in after her, or
Um, yeah, pretty much.
yeah. So she leaves, and she leaves the CIC and heads into the depths of the ship. And yeah, you turn, and after she's left, you head into
The interview room where she talked with the captain.
yeah.
And it's just like, Captain, a word.
He nods and gestures, like go ahead.
And Dahl just as she left Dahl's care, the first thing Dahl did was look up her records, basically.
Psych profile, that shit.
So Dahl chucks the compad that she used with the profile in and chucks it over to the captain, and she says, "Psycher."
It says, I noticed the pips on her shoulder. Metasionist. Teleportation
Telepath.
and telekinesis. No, not telekinesis. Telepath, yeah.
Yeah. Safe to say the Alexander knows to look out for her back.
Nods and says, the timing does seem too coincidental.
It could just be because we're doing the important shit, but safe to say they're not taking any risks.
He nods, says, I think I managed to disguise my feelings of what do we say? Disguise my feelings of unsurety with the current mission. But he kind of gestures. I doesn't have your training.
Let's see. Can I set? Let's see. Where is it? Did I sense her using any powers while she was in there?
Yeah.
Well, whatever it was, she tried to probe you.
And I think if she had found anything, probably would have found myself shot.
Martial law, eh? That would have been awkward.
According to the regs, it would technically be mutiny. Within the bounds of martial law, she would have been in a reg.
I don't think the Lord Commander would give such orders. She might say, report back to me before taking any untoward risks.
I agree. Which concerns me. I know there are more amongst our crew who feel as we do.
Well, we can't hide everything. Not from her. Not unless you want her watched day and night.
I think he looks at you and says, "Is there anything you can do?"
I want to look up in the regs and see what she's like an attaché.
Yeah, pretty much. She's attached to this ship, but she's not a member of the ship's crew.
Yeah, so she can wander freely, but are there any ways to limit her from moving around completely?
Yeah, I mean, technically, in like a combat situation or like if you declare the ship under a combat situation, people have to return to their assigned areas, or combat alert,
Wouldn't she be only allowed in areas that her rank allows anyway?
which is everywhere.
Yeah.
So you could essentially put the ship on a combat footing, which would mean that because she technically doesn't really have an assigned area of the ship, she would be limited to a cabin, maybe the mess. None of the important areas, none of engineering or the CIC or.
Yeah. I think I suggest doing that. But
I think he says. I think Evan says, if we did that too early, it might arouse suspicions. Maybe a week out from Sasson.
Sounds good. I'll do what I can to keep an eye on her, but I can't be everywhere.
Yeah, I think he says, "Is there anything you can do with?" And he gestures to this area, where your pips are. He's indelicately asking if there's anything psychically you can do to stop her.
She shrugs and says, "Not my expertise. I can sense when she's doing it, and technically, according to regs, it's not exactly appropriate to probe everyone."
He nods and says, "So if you were to notice her doing something outside of regulations, we could take action."
The Alexander has sort of elevated herself as some sort of Lord Commander ship, so technically she can pull rank by referring to the Lord Commander, but yeah, we'll see what we can do administratively to impede her progress.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, I will basically, every time I'm not on the bridge, I will keep track of her movements, and I will personally keep her company most of the time.
Sure. All right. Interesting.
And
Okay.
try to, I will use my own psychic detection to see who she does probe, and try to use administrative bullshit to
Sure.
confine her to not do that to command staff.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, she doesn't as far as you can tell. She doesn't do anything with her powers aside from the activation you kind of felt when she was with the captain. You don't get anything else. You get her her you can tell she's psychic. You can tell she has her like passive stuff going on. But apart from that, you don't sense anything extra.
Well, I know I can cloak my powers, so probably she can too. But I'll try and at least
Sure.
yeah. If basically if she's higher metapsionic than me, wait, if she's equal or higher in skill, I can I can still detect some part of like I can still detect some of it.
Yep.
If you look at, let's see, it says you can hide your abilities, but anyone who's like equal or higher skill can still detect it. So hopefully she's not higher skill than me.
She is.
Yeah, maybe, probably.
She was
But
higher
no,
than Gwen.
yeah, but you're not even a 0 meta psionics. I'm a +1, so
I mean, after she met her, she was.
yeah, that's a bit too late.
Okay, cool.
So hopefully I'll be able to detect her, but who knows?
Yeah, and I think you definitely detect her using her psychic powers at some points, but like it seems like unimportant bullshit. That like
Just
she's
teleporting around randomly.
not just like she'll be talking to just a random crew member she passes and she'll use one, right? Like it's just like it's random unimportant crap that like doesn't really matter. That you yeah.
What do I like as I'm following her? What's my read on her? Like as like a person or
Okay.
uh,
Um
notice with wisdom?
yeah,
I just,
yeah, I think notice works best.
yeah, I want to keep an eye out on her for to protect not just to protect the captain, but to make sure that she's not really interfering.
For sure, okay. Yeah, so I mean she's not messing with anything, right? Like she's not going around actively sabotaging the ship. That much is pretty obvious. Um she's talking to people. And she's
The
been spending a lot of like just kind of hanging out with the Marines where she gets an opportunity. Like if she has downtime, if she's not doing anything else, she'll generally be like hanging out with Marines. Which I mean, kind of figures she is one. Um, but yeah. Apart from that, she's just kind of talking to people.
Yeah, I'm mostly
Trying to-
curious if she ever gets in touch with the command structure, like the head engineer or any one of the people.
Sure. I mean, yeah, absolutely. She talks to all of the section heads at some point or another.
Shit. Well,
But like,
I'm doing
and
all I
think-
can.
Yeah, and I think like if you speak to if you spoke to the section heads after like at some point after she spoke to them, they'd just be like, she just kind of asked me how I was doing, like if I was ready for this, if we needed anything, like yeah,
Innocuous questions, basically.
yeah, pretty much small talk, getting to know members of the ship.
Well, that's good. And bad. Uh, but all right. Well, I can't do more than I did. So
Sure. I mean, I think kind of as we're on that, we see Saris. I think in the like she walks into the mess hall at one point, and she see her kind of like looking around, and she seems to spot Cross, and she approaches and sits down on the other side of the table to Cross, and says, "Civilian Cross, yes."
yes.
You are a citizen of you are a citizen of Earth. Before she's like before and kind of just gestures around.
Yeah. And you are?
I'm Lucy. She like offers a hand across the table.
Like, would Cross notice her like officer's rank and stuff?
Yeah, it's the same insignia Voss wears. Same uniform as well, but different colors. The coloring of her uniform is different to Voss.
I suppose it's nice to meet you, Officer Lucy. Shakes a hand.
She smiles. She says, "You are a civilian. You can call me Lucy if you want."
Yeah, I get told that I should get told to call officers a lot around here. It's really annoying, especially with Voss and his friends, his crew, whatever they call themselves.
Smiles. They are Marines. They are stringent on rule structures and respect. It's what they do.
Yes, but some of the rules are so annoying.
You're on board a military vessel at a time of what is very probably war. Under martial
But
law,
at this point, every vessel's a military vessel.
it's not true. There are prospectors out in the belt.
I'm sure if war does break out, they'll be conscripted.
She shrugs. It is unimportant. I hear you are accompanying us as we go down to Titan.
Oh, yes. Will you be joining that?
She smiles. It is why I'm on this ship.
Ah, good to know. What else do you know about that you can tell me?
If you haven't been told by whoever is looking after you, I feel I shouldn't tell you. Although, I'd like to know more about you. What I can expect you to be able to do. You are a journalist, so I assume you have some way with words.
When it comes to me,
She nods. How are you with convincing people?
depends on the people and the situation, but for the most part, I can get what I want go through.
She smiles. Say if I had you attempt to convince a man who very much enjoys a profit that this is no longer viable, that he has to turn over everything. How would you do it?
If he cares about profit over human life, it's difficult, but in doing so, you can say, given what he has now, he'll make a large profit later in the future, telling him that aiding others is a good way to make more money, especially in this kind of situation. Given what is going on, he will be, once money starts being made again, money will go to those who help the most.
She nods, says, and if that doesn't work, if he is adamant that capital now is more important,
Everybody has the.
if you want to just roll talk, you can just roll talk. I don't
Okay,
expect
that's
you
what I'll talk then.
to this fly.
I win.
I also can't see that, so
12.
someone tell me around. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I mean, she nods. Like you come up with like a relatively eloquent way of essentially rewording exactly what you just said.
Yeah, basically everybody has a need they want kind of shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's something. Even a man like that can, there's something that you could give him. And she nods. She says, "And how are you? How are you feeling? This is a tough situation. I'm aware that even some of the trained soldiers on board are having a tough time adjusting. And you are a civilian. You haven't had that training. And this feels really blindsidey, right? Like you haven't nothing. No part of your conversation has been anything about this.
I just go, to be honest, I have no fucking idea what's going on or what to do.
She nods. Then in a way we are the same. Although I have those of us above me who make decisions like that so I don't have to. Have you ever considered joining up? We need every able hand.
Not if my life depended on it.
You don't wish to avenge what happened? Everybody lost somebody.
I want to survive. I want me and my family to go somewhere safe. My family's still alive, luckily for me.
She smiles. That's good. I'm glad at least one of us. And when she says one of us, like, she kind of gestures around, like, she's not just meaning me and you. I'm glad at least one of us has someone to return to once this is all done. But
If
it will be
this is all
a while
done,
before we return to anywhere where you can leave us. What do you plan on doing in the time between? You could do your part.
and what would my part be?
She shrugs. I don't know. I only know my part because I am told what to do.
Exactly. I don't know what to do.
Then surely having somebody else make those decisions for you would make things easier.
In the past, I had that. I worked for my media company. Now, I don't know who I work for.
Shrugs. I don't think you work for anyone right now. You work for yourself.
I don't
I'm
even know
sure
if my broadcasts are getting out there anymore.
she shrugs, says, well, if it was vetted by naval intelligence, I'm sure we could broadcast some of your whatever.
Tell me, what were you doing when it all happened? Where were you?
Earth.
Yes.
I was on board to the Alexander.
But what were you doing? Were you talking with the captain, the admiral, whatever her name is?
No, I was working out.
When the news first came through to you, how did you get it?
The admiral summoned me and every other officer on board. She told us all.
I was sent an anonymous encrypted message from an unknown person on a personal channel about what had happened.
Yeah, she like that sparks her interest. She says, I do not know who the person was.
No,
None of your contacts you have used before. No one who has.
most of my contacts are dead.
Yeah, like she doesn't
On
seem
Mars.
taken. She doesn't seem taken aback by that. Like that's a statement she said a lot recently.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. She says,
It was through a message none of my previous contacts have ever used.
interesting. Do you have any theories? Who it might be?
Super maniacal AI. Other than that, not really.
She laughs. None of those exist, unfortunately. Although it might make our life easier. Giant think tank doing all our decision making for us. Remove human error.
Human error is what caused all this.
She nods. Yes. Although we do not know who yet.
There's theories out there.
And
And
what
from
do you
everyone to there's the theories say it's from between everyone from us to Mars to spaces. Personally, I don't care. I just want to survive it. I want this to end so I can go somewhere, find a home, and be peaceful and safe. The
What if I
entire
told
reason.
you,
You go.
what if I told you I knew who it was?
I would ask for you to tell me.
What would you do with the information?
Tell me. Do you know how the information on this ship got spread?
She nods. This is why I am
What-
talking to you.
What do you think I would do?
You would post information you have no way of confirming.
I've done it many times in the past. Most of them turn out to be true.
I think we'll talk again, Mr. Cross.
I hope we do. Maybe we can talk about what happened on your on your previous ship.
I don't think so.
But it'd be fun.
The Holiday was a victim of a terrorist attack. It is one that has shaped me going forward.
Nobody
Do
ever
I-
claimed responsibility for that. It'd be nice to know your side of the story. You'd be the only person who did talk about it. Was it?
I know exactly who did it. Who has been responsible for every terrorist activity undertaken in the last 30 years.
So I'm taking it that's who you blame then. For Earth, I mean.
I blame the people I am told to blame. I believe the people who tell me what direction I should point my gun. I have no reason not to.
I take it you and Voss get along very well.
The smirk. I think Voss would like that.
The way I see it, there's what you believe and what you're told to believe. And they're two very different sides of a coin.
What if you believe what you are told to believe?
That makes it more complicated, but personally, I don't know what to believe either. I just do what I do to make my life continue on.
What if I told you Commander Dahl was responsible for the attack?
I would say that's complete bullshit because Dahl's on this ship.
She shrugs. Good. At least you're not willing to believe everything, every piece of bullshit thrown in front of your face.
I'm not an idiot. I do research everything I get first.
Let's
If I
stating Mars caused the attack? Well, implied.
We were at war. We were at war at the time. It seemed a good way to boost morale for what was going to happen.
Are we not still at war?
Are we?
I don't see the players have changed.
I see that there are no players anymore. We're all just pawns in someone's game.
It's been an interesting conversation, Mr. Cross. We'll talk again.
I try to make them more interesting, more fun. Boring conversations never go well.
She nods and yeah, I think she stands and leaves the table. Does anyone want to do anything in particular in the next 2 weeks? Go for it, Ross.
Yeah, I want to talk to. I've forgotten her name again.
Cyrus.
Saris.
Saris.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I don't
Write
know
it
how they
down.
I did.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Sure. So I mean, yeah, I think you. I mean, you can choose where you come across her.
Does she have a personal room? I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
she has her quarters, her cabin.
Yeah,
One of
I'd go
those
there
is,
when both of us
one
aren't on duty.
cabins. Sure.
Knock on the door because he doesn't use electronic stuff.
Yeah, she stands up and like goes to the door. The door slides open and she's standing there in it's like a casual.
Yeah, he's standing there
Ross.
casually too, arms behind his back, legs spread apart.
You know, you can relax sometimes.
I am relaxed. Do I not look relaxed?
No.
Oh, I feel relaxed.
What did you need?
I wanted to talk to you about, well, the state of affairs. You mind if I come in?
Come in. You step in and she like shuts the door behind you.
Do you mind if I sit?
She gestures to sit.
He sits. I take it you and the Lieutenant Commander have a Well, a relationship. You report to her directly?
She nods.
I'm curious what her opinion of the whole matter is. Obviously, don't tell me more than you can, but I'm curious to hear what you can tell me.
Her opinion on
This whole fucking shit show. Earth blowing up, the shields of humanity, the fiery vengeance she talks about. It seemed genuine, but
yeah, I think she says like I feel her message made that point quite clear.
yes, I thought so. I would just like to confirm it from someone under her direct command.
She nods. She says she believes what she says.
Good. So do we. Meaning the Marines.
Okay.
Has she?
Yeah, I mean, I think she asks. I think she says like who's we.
The swords. The ones that go before the shield.
To avenge Earth.
Even once Earth is avenged, we'll still need swords to protect her, or protect humanity. That will never change.
Who do you think did it?
My initial reaction was Mars, though that was because I was angry, ready to go kill some Martians. It keeps bouncing around in my head now. The obvious answer is Mars. Of course it's Mars. But spaces are cunning, clever, sneaky, angry little fuckers. Or tool fuckers, rather. I've also thought that maybe there's the possibility, just maybe, that someone on Earth lost their mind, decided it'd be better for the galaxy or the solar system or whatever without it, without humanity.
As far as I can tell, as far as we can tell, nobody with access, nobody internally shut on the planetary defenses.
Lets out a low whistle. Then that is fucking terrifying. Someone out there has clearly got a tech advantage over us.
Somebody out there has the ability to kill planets.
No,
Moons,
I mean, all of us have the
bases.
ability to kill a planet. You just throw a few large rocks down its well.
Yes, but in most cases, those rocks will be shot down. In this case, they won't.
Someone pulled First Fleet away.
Mars did that.
How do we know that? I'm not convinced it was Mars who nuked Earth. Nothing to gain from it, really.
He never said Mars nuked Earth.
No,
I said
but
Mars threw First Fleet away.
Yes, but who convinced Mars to draw First Fleet away? Who tricked them into it, or whatever? The revolt was a long time coming, but I doubt it would have been any time soon. There must have been a catalyst. How do we know that that catalyst isn't also responsible for splitting Earth in two?
She says naval intelligence's reports say that it was a pop star.
A pop star? A pop star draw the entirety of First Fleet to Mars? You are fucking kidding me.
He drew a concert that drew a crowd. EDF Marines fired upon the crowd unprovoked, I'm told. Sparked, she gestured, a higher level of resentment for Earth. than would normally be.
I'd heard rumors, but I didn't assume they were true. Is that confirmed? We gunned down innocent civilians? I mean, it's not something I haven't done, but it's not something we normally do.
Something you
hurt.
haven't done.
Yeah, she says it like the only contingents of what used to be the EDF on planet was the garrison. We didn't have any of the Marines on planet. It wasn't us, as far as I can tell.
Then a trick.
She nods.
A smart trick. I would have done the same thing. If I knew a pop star.
Gonna feel Constantine dying every time he's called a pop star.
I just imagine like we have a sudden flashback to Constantine's like just standing somewhere in like a random hall talking to people.
Signing
And I just like, I'm
autographs.
imagining like, we just see Constantine like, every time we hear the word like pop star mentioned, he just shivers.
Like he's just talking to like a people like talking to some government officials on Mars, and suddenly just like, "Ew."
Not a fucking pop star.
Yeah, I think she says, so if you had to make a decision right now where we deployed our swords, where would we go?
Saturn.
Who
It's the right
would
call.
we-
I suggested Mars in the briefing with the Lord Commander, but again, that was the in the moment fiery thought of a Marine trained to do one thing and one thing only.
So now you've had more time to think.
Yes. We should
Where
take
would you go?
we should take Saturn. From there start building a base. Take the belt.
And
Take the outer planets. Take as much as we can. Leave Mars to its own devices. Leave it to rot. It's not going to survive long. It's a shithole.
you think it was Saturn?
It doesn't matter if it was Saturn. They've got shipyards. They've built most of our fleet.
But
Might have
who
been
do you
Saturn.
think it was?
Honestly, no fucking idea. 3 major factors in my mind. Well, 4 I guess. Mars, obvious call like I said. Spaces, or the Freedom Front or whatever the fuck they call themselves nowadays. Earth, though, not likely, and you've put that suspicion to rest. Or Saturn, unless there's an outside force acting on it, which wouldn't be the first time in human history.
So what? You'd flip a coin. Make your decision that way.
I don't want to ever be the person who makes the decisions. I'm the one that follows those decisions. Smarter people make them. People with more information. People with more foresight. With the long view of things. I do what I'm told. I kill who I'm told to kill. I don't ask questions. It's what I'm good for. It's what I'm good at. It's why I've lasted so long. It's why I'm a lieutenant so early in my career. Not that I, want to be a lieutenant. He grins.
We are where we are. Where we serve best.
I hope that's true. I hope this leg wasn't for nothing. Taps his big middle leg.
I think she pauses for a second and kind of shakes her head. I forget myself. You came here. What did you want to say?
I'm curious if the... Well, now this is a long shot. The pipe dream of a desperate Marine. I'm curious, though, if the Lord Commander has mentioned my name. You came to me, but that's because I'm command. Curious of... Well, anything, really. Even in passing. Don't lie to me. Well, You could lie to me if you made up a really good story about how she praised me to the entire ship and said I'm the best goddamn marine that the EDF, now the Shields of Humanity, have ever seen. I'd like that.
Well, she has me, so that can't be true.
Hmm.
She smiles. And smiles. And
Stop
she says, "No,
flirting.
the Lord Commander knows who you are. He knows you are loyal."
Nods. Good. If there's one thing I am, if there's one thing only that I am, it's loyal. I'll always be loyal. I always have been loyal. I was raised that way, and I would die that way.
She nods. So you came all this way to find if the Lord Commander knows your name.
You could consider me a bit of a fanboy. That speech of hers riled something up in me that I haven't felt in a long, long time. I feel that I have purpose again. I wouldn't be surprised. No, I know that if she told me to fly directly into the sun, I would without question. I would assume she had a greater purpose, and even if she didn't, I probably still would.
She nods. Is that all, Lieutenant?
Well, one last thing. I'm curious where I stand in this new order of ours. What will be asked of me? What will be asked of my soldiers? Where do I fit into all of this?
She smiles. Says, I think this is what most of us don't understand. What we do, it hasn't changed. We are Marines, naval personnel. We look after our ship and we look after our crew, and the person next to us. And we follow orders. That has never changed. It never will. We just moved from looking after one planet and its people to everyone.
He nods. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I don't know what I would do without, being a Marine. It's all I am at this point. I'm glad that hasn't changed.
Okay. So I think like the curtains close as we were on that scene. Here's a question for Voss. Does Voss push the flirting any further?
100%.
Cool.
Like, he doesn't even care if it goes anywhere. Like, she's just a pretty powerful lady and he's into that.
Sure.
He just does it for the hell of it. If it goes somewhere, great. If it doesn't, it's still fun.
Yeah, okay. Let me let the dice gods decide.
Oh shit!
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Never
So
flirt with crazy.
I wish
Yeah.
that was a 1.
Yeah, that would have been fucking funny. That would have been her just like being like, no.
Either a 1 or a 20 would have been amazing.
Not interested. Okay. Yeah, like, I think the scene kind of plays out. And there's some more flirting back and forth between the two. And I guess you decide how far Voss pushes that. Because she's not going to say no.
Yeah, he'll push it. He'll sleep with her.
Sure.
Like,
yeah. I think that's what the scene.
Rags.
Like, I think that's what the scene ends on, right? Is like that. Like, that's what we cut away from, into our next ad break, because I need to get another drink.
That's against Rags, Matt.
We'll be back in a few minutes. It is maybe against rigs. Maybe. We don't know what the new rigs are. We'll
You're
be
the
back in a
same
few
rank,
minutes.
so technically she's not poaching among the
Exactly.
enlisted crew.
Exactly.
So
We'll be back in a few minutes.